Hello and welcome to the Round 21 Wednesday Questions podcast for the Late Mail crew. I'm here with Roscoe. I'm here with Cookie, Survive Tuber. How you guys going, Cookie?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Just ready to rip in, keeping one eye on the cricket a little bit as well. But yeah, ready to go.
Yeah. It's an interesting series and it's an interesting round for the footy as well. All of the guns are back. All of those nasty minor and major buys are over. And if you didn't consolidate last week, it's really the time to do it this week, I think. So we'll get cracking because I think we've got 25 questions or something like that. So straight up, we have Survive Tubers saying, got a question he wants answered by me. Which option for a loop do I take? And the rest start. So he's got Kiraz, Clemmer, and Buller and Max King. So can you just clarify that a little bit? So out of those four, are you trying to loop one person or like two of the which combo are 17th and 18th man? Is that what you're asking?
They're right next to each other, so it's either Kiraz and Clemmer together or Buller and Max King, since I can't do Buller and Clemmer or Kiraz or Max King.
True, because they're Tigers versus Bulldogs. I'd probably loop Kiraz because like he could get 10 against the Panthers. We don't know.
Kiraz and Buller or Kiraz and Clemmer?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd probably loop. No, I'd loop Kiraz and Clemmer. I think Buller will go all right against the Dragons, so those two up the top, I'd put in the loop. Yeah, Kiraz, he did a lot better than a lot of us were expecting last week. Nearly half of us sold him, and then he pulled out a big score when Coruscant was back. So yeah, Buller could be one to even hold for the rest of the year. He looks all right. I reckon he could go good this week again. So moving on to Justin 1991. Thoughts on the team, lads? Thinking Tino to maybe Money Munster. Have 87k in the bank with 7 trades left. Any other options? Open to trading Lem now that Garrick is DPP cover for me. Yeah, that's the talking point of the last day or so. Like Garrick DPP changes so much because instantly at the fullback position, he's pretty much the top averaging player that you can have at centre. I'll just bring up his team now. Oh, hang on, I've clicked on his bench. But yeah, so down the bottom, he's got Tungo, Manu. He's got Garrick and wing fullback and Latrell. Oh, I kind of would be maybe interested. Those are 3 really, really strong guns. Like if you've got like Manu, Penasini, and Garrick, that sort of doesn't seem as strong, and you'd almost want to keep him. But like with those three guys, I don't know if you need Lemu as much. What do you reckon, Roscoe?
Yeah, I'm also a Garrick owner. I've had him since he was cheap, so yeah, I'm super stoked like you are, Scoop. I'm in the similar situation with Lemu, right? It's a bloody good question because I feel like he's going to have to be my fall guy along with maybe a Nelson in my team. And I feel like, yeah, now that Garrick that's an instant centre starter for me. So yeah, I think Lemo, he's got to go in his team, right? Like you're probably the same, Scoop.
Yeah, I'm considering it. I've got what have I got? I've got Penasini, Manu, Lem, and Garrick. Problem is, I'm having trouble trading.
I mean, Lemmy scored a try, Scoop.
Yeah.
He scored that try with a bit of a grubber. He got some inflated stats. I know he's wanting to impress and stuff, but I don't know. I think I'm going to catch out now.
Goop, I think he's got to find a way to get Cleary in as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
That could be a good pathway, to be honest. Who else could he sell? He could probably. Oh yeah, Tino, obviously. So Tino and Lem would get him to. Well, he's got 87k in the bank.
What about Harris as well? He's got Tohu.
Yeah, potentially. He's also got Boyd. Yeah,
Mo.
Tino to Cleary with the cash only means he needs 100k extra. So Lem out, give him like 450k. That's sort of an awkward price though. Like you can't really get too many great options at that.
How much is Kiraz?
less than that, but he's also playing Panthers. So, I don't know.
So it wouldn't be quite enough.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I would potentially try and get Cleary. If you've got 7 trades left, maybe you could make 3 and then trade out. Well, I don't know if I'd trade out Harris. He was sick last week. He should be good to go, but he does have a bye coming up. If you feel like you can trade Harris out and keep Boyd as hooker cover, you could go about it that way, and then you could go Harris and what was it, about 450k, 500k. Yeah, you combine those and you've probably got 2 650k players you can grab, or like a DC Munster and somebody like that. Like it's that might give you a few
Yeah, or a
options to
Cameron
look
Murray.
at. Yes, that's
Cameron
probably
Murray.
the one. That's probably the one that'll help. Tohu Harris to Cameron Murray. It's not as much as I'd like, but yeah, that could push it up to a better price bracket for that other option. So yeah, I'd look to something like that. It's not really certain. It's a bit of an awkward price, but if you play around with it, I think that's the sort of angle you need to go with, Justin. Yeah. Any other thoughts? Oh, he's got his trades down there. Yeah, he's got Lem and Tino to Karaz and Cleary. So yeah, that's definitely one option. But yeah, I mean, they play the Panthers, and I don't know if I want outside backs from bottom 8 teams, really. Anyone else have any thoughts on that, or that's pretty much what we're...
No, I think we pretty much nailed it, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Roscoe wants to know who Cookie recommends in Mixer. We'll touch on it very briefly. It was mostly answered last night, but I mean, what sort of players are you going to look to Cookie this week? Or like, you're going to go safe and solid until we figure out what it's going to be like with these extra teams?
Yeah, I mean, if you were looking at wing fullback, well, there's Tonegado. She's playing in the halves this year. There's Upton, of course. Centres, there's Jess Kelly. There's Surgis. You've got Briganshaw kind of in the halves. But the one I'm really keen on is, of course, she averaged 57, I think, and 55 the last 2 seasons, Samaima Taufa. So that's the one I'm keen on. And, yeah, if you're looking for an edge, someone like an Amber Hall is probably one, that I'm big on.
Yeah, I was thinking...
Just for a couple of names.
I was thinking of...
Millie Boyle. You can't go past Millie Boyle.
True. There are a couple of really good middles. And you've got to think about Mixer from a different point of view than the men's, because certain positions score very differently to what you'd expect compared to the men's. Like the middle score very well, like almost comparable to the men's, not quite. Wing fullback can, especially in an attacking game. Centre, not so much except for the Roosters girls. And then you've really only got a couple of options in like the hooker, the edge, and the halves that can score like really much above 30 or 35. So you've got to pick the right ones, and it can be a positional play as well.
I think picking a men's hooker is a must. I don't think you can pick a women's hooker if you want to take it seriously.
Yeah, it's a good shout to go solid and safe for the first week anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Who have we got next? We got Huntley Hurricane, 7 trades left, 362k in the bank, so can make some big moves. Considering Simpkin to B Burns, I guess that would probably be what that Dragon's Edge. Hey?
Billy Burns, maybe. Yeah.
And Bird to Garrick leaves me with 300k to hopefully go to Tola to Yo next week. 4k short to do it this week. That's a shame. Other options to do Simpkin to Colquhoun instead, which would hopefully allow him to do Tola to Cleary next week. 1k short to do it this week. Oh, that's rough. Head-to-head player. That's even worse. You'd absolutely want him this week. Yeah, Bird's situation, I think... It's a worst case situation because you've held him, and then he's benched, so he's not going to be that keeper you were hoping for unless he switches late, plays 80 minutes type of a thing. And I don't know, it's a bit like Jeremy Marshall King's situation. Do you want somebody with an ongoing issue that has been keeping him in and out of the team? What do you reckon? Is it just simple and no brainer to go Bird to Garrick?
I think so. I think it's not too bad, but also the Jack Bird thing on the bench reeks of a smoke screen to me. I wouldn't be shocked if he's starting on that edge, to be honest. he's too good. I mean, he's been playing big minutes in New South Wales Cup, so it's not like he's fresh out of an injury. He's been proven on the paddock. So, it's so difficult because
been
you're right.
waiting.
He's snookered himself by holding him this long just to then trade him out when he's back. It's tough.
Yeah. The Dragons play
Cut your
first,
losses and
don't
get
they?
Garrick.
So you can actually look at it and not have to worry about getting
Yeah.
locked in. So maybe just wait until the last team list's updated, then see what happens. Because, I mean, Bird could be an absolute ripper of a pot in the run home if he manages to stay fit with good minutes, but that's a very big if. Who else has he got? So he's got Simpkin, Hands, Sandon, Smith, Paul Alamotti. Still got Alamotti. I don't know. Price difference between, Alamotti's cheaper than Simpkin, so we can't trade out Alamotti instead of Simpkin to fund those trades. Totola to Yo. I reckon as a head-to-head player, he should probably be looking to trade in Cleary over Yo. Like, he's got Horse and DeBellin in the mids, and he's also got Tohu Harris there as well, which isn't too bad. He's got Fafita in the edge, Bateman in the edge. Like, the position he's really probably looking to upgrade isn't necessarily mids, I'd think. I'd be tempted, since he's got SJ, to go Moses to Cleary with Simpkin to somebody like that. And
I was just about to say that, Scoop, that I feel that out of those four, Cleary, Hines, SJ, Moses, if you need to sacrifice one to get Cleary, it is Moses. I was just exactly thinking the same.
What about your boy Maddo, Cookie?
It's a hard one. If you can use him to get Cleary as well, it's probably worth it. But if you're trading him sideways to someone else in a similar price, I don't know if I'd do it. But if it's to get Cleary, then yes, I would. But he's like, what do you make of Maddo, Scoop? He's probably going to get a few more minutes now that
if
RCG's had him might get low 50s.
If RCG hadn't been suspended, it would have been
Low-
straight out of my team this week. But like, I reckon he can push a 50 to 55 average now, and I mean, I can cop that as my 17th, 18th man.
Yeah, but if it's to get Cleary, would you consider trading him? I think I would, but that's just me.
Maddo and Totola, for example, to Cleary and a cheapie. That's almost a dream. If he's got enough coin in the bank. Oh, he's got 362
but I think
in the bank. He can go straight from Maddo to Cleary pretty much. And that gets an eel out of your team for round 27. So
or you could do the Moses to Cleary and then go to Ari or something.
He doesn't have Haas. Do you think he's going to need Haas, or do you think because he's got a buy that he's not interested in him because he's head-to-head?
Haas is going to hurt if you don't own him in a head-to-head, but I think, especially if you need a win to get into finals, Cleary is absolutely the one you want this week.
Yeah.
Something to consider picking up, Tarpanay, potentially, especially if you're thinking of selling Madison and Totola. But yeah, next priority, I think. All right. Move on to Rick's question. So many decent options at centre. Rank the following: Manu, Garrick, Tagore, Val, Graham, and Timoko. So Timoko, I'd say.
Timoko.
Yeah, keeping in mind Val and Graham still for buy. Graham and Timoko, 100k plus less than others. I tell you what, Graham could be a really interesting one with the Bunnies run home. So 100k less.
Apparently, he's training the house down. He looks like he's refreshed at training and he's raring to go. But the thing is, he's got that sternum problem. So, in a week or two, could that flare up again? And then he starts missing these tackles. Like, that injury is managing. It's going to be hanging around all year.
How long has he had that? Has it been
with
3
contact,
weeks? Did he miss round 18?
Yeah, it's been about that.
Well, that could be enough, I'd say.
Yeah, it did against the Warriors.
Could be
the
enough.
Warriors, the Bulldogs, and but they did say that he's going to carry it all year, so it probably will flare up again. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, but if they're winning though, he doesn't have to bash too many people. He'll be scoring tries instead. So
no, he doesn't. And if you look at our draw, if you look at our draw, I think he's going to score a few tries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick, I would probably rank Garrick tentatively first. There's a couple of guys who have probably higher ceilings
Yeah.
and depends what happens with Tungo when Cleary's back. Because if nothing changes, Tungo's top of that list. But he's also nearly 700k now. So I don't know if I'd go chasing him now.
Scoop, can I just
Yep.
say I wouldn't get Tungo now at this price. He's got a 12 or 13 points less average with Cleary in the side, and I just think you're chasing. You've missed his few good scores already. Like, he could still put up some big scores, but I feel like just pass on him and say, look, I missed him. If I had to rank them, I'd rank them probably Garrick, Manu, Valentine Holmes, Campbell, Graham, Tago, and Tomoko. But that's just how I'd rank them.
Yeah, I'd probably have Val second, but something vaguely similar to me. You have any strong opinions on that list, Scotty?
I think Scotty's in Europe on a train at the moment, so
right.
he's just listening tonight, Scoot.
Yep. Yeah, I think Tomoko is definitely bottom of the pile. Graham's definitely got potential to be up in those options if it goes well. What do we got? Is Tomoko to Edwards a good trade? I would do that next week. Like, Edwards is very cheap. Tomoko's just come off a good score. Edwards, like, their prices are trending opposite. We want to see Edwards go well with Cleary probably before we trade him. And I mean, you could squeeze a little bit more money out of it, but head-to-head wise or just points wise, it probably makes sense. Like, Edwards versus Bulldogs could go pretty well. Do you reckon Tomoko to Edwards is a good trade this week's 5-tuber? No, nothing there either. So, yeah, I do think it's an upgrade, but yeah, it's just doesn't feel nice trading Tomoko out after that big score. He's had a bye, but the previous big score in round 19.
And the Raiders, like, their runs, they've still got a couple of games where he could go big as well. I know it's a hard one against the Warriors this week, but I've looked at their draw and I think I'd just hold off a week. Yeah, unless you really want Edwards. Yeah, if you think he's going to really carve it up.
Yeah,
but
Edwards is a funny one.
I don't know if it's worth the trade.
Yeah, Edwards is a funny one because sometimes he'll score really well, but like, he also might not. He's that sort of player that he's fantastic for the team, but not necessarily always on the end of it. So I'm backing him to score 50 easily this week, but it might not be an 80. If Latrell, with a fit Bunnies team, was playing this Bulldogs team, last week's Bulldogs team, I'd back him for 100. Like, it would be carnage. Edwards may deliver the goods, but may not deliver the fantasy points. So
yeah, and his sort of ceiling's a little bit lower than some of those other guys, isn't it? Yeah.
Potentially, but yeah. I mean, Edwards has been very good when he's been playing with Cleary this year. It's a big difference. But yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know, Timmy. I think it depends on where you sit with guys like Garrick. If you have, maybe that's the answer. If you've got Garrick, plan to move him to centre, maybe Edwards is your replacement at wing fullback. I wouldn't mind that. Otherwise, not so much. All right. Next one, we've got a team. We've got a team here, but go anywhere. Hey team, looking to finish my team off for our head-to-head cash league, which is final starting round 23. That's Bulldogs, isn't it? Bulldogs on the bye. Warriors are 22, Bulldogs 23. I'm currently in the top 8, but a win this week would go a long way to securing top 4 finish. Before doing anything, I've got 9 trades remaining and 372k in the bank. Well, that's pretty good. My team, before trades, is below. I've got a couple ideas, but if you're up for it, look at my team and let me know what you do in my situation. Keen to use my cash to improve my scoring 17, use 3 to 2-3 trades at most. 3 Warriors on the bye next week, 2 Bulldogs on round 23, 3 Eels round 70. Yeah, so basically just have a look at the team and what it means head-to-head moving forward. And this is an interesting point of the season because overall players probably looking to consolidate, not make too many trades. Whereas head to head, if you're a win out of your finals only just in, you might want to make those trades now just to ensure you get in. It really depends on your situation. So talking about those Warriors guys and things like that. So he's got 9 trades. I reckon you're fine. Like, you've got one less week to worry about than everyone else for round 27. You can keep your Eels and 372k in the bank. So let's have a quick look. Grant, Horsburgh, DeBellin, Harris, Fafita Bateman, SJ Hines, Penasini, Manu, Ponga, Buller, Tedesco, Moses, Robson, Hopgood, Preston, King, Sanders Smith, CNK, and Chris. I reckon he needs a Garrick. I think that could really shore up his centres and give him a bit of extra wing fullback cover, because he's got CNK, but he might also want to sell him on the Warriors by like a CNK to a Dylan Edwards. Isn't that far off in price on the Warriors buy, so that could be a good strategy. Cleary potentially for head-to-head players is gold. He's got Robson, Moses, Hopgood, Preston, Max King. Look, considering that you're not the most keen on Bulldogs players in round 23, maybe you could go something like Preston and Robson, who are going to be annoying in head-to-head finals, to a Cleary and a Garrick with that extra cash. That could be a really interesting way to go about it. That's what I'd probably look towards. What do you reckon, Brosco?
Yeah, I'm with you on the CNK. Probably doesn't need him, and that's a good way of getting Garrick. I probably wouldn't replace with another Dylan Edwards. I'd probably solidify like a Cleary or something, and work on the forwards and just the decent scorers. So halves and mids at the moment, they seem to be the safe base. So. I agree with all your suggestions. Got to get Cleary. Got to get maybe a Garrick.
Yeah, well, if he only wants to use 2 or 3 trades, I think 2 trades, Cleary and Garrick in, that could be the way to go. Okay, we've got...
Another thing is he could probably go Murray as well instead of Garrick.
Yeah, he could, but he also is head-to-head, so Murray has a bye in head-to-head grand final. For a head-to-head player, I'd probably only be looking to get Latrell in so that you can dominate through that finals period before moving him on. Whereas Murray, he's a good player, but like, I don't know if he's a match winner in head-to-head. He's at a good price, but I don't know if it works so much for his team. But yeah, Murray is at a very appealing price just in general, so it wouldn't be the worst move in the world. Okay, we've got Pies asking a question about his team as well. Hey Cookie, we've got one for Cookie. Looking to make final trades this week before saving the rest for the run home. 7 trades left, 222k in the bank. Planning Simpkin to Jesse Colquhoun or Dan Russell. Options after that are Fisher Harris to Yo or Horsburgh, Fisher Harris to Murray, Fisher Harris to Murray, and Hopgood to Cleary. I hate to trade out Hopgood, but I can't see a better path to Cleary without ruining my depth, or do I let Cleary go for now and bring him in if I get an injury or suspension? So let's just have a quick check to make sure he's not missing anybody that he should get before Cleary. I mean, there's not really many. He's got Fafita, he's got Harry Grant, he's got your Kalen Pongas and Ruben Garricks of the world. I reckon it is probably a decent option to chase Cleary.
Yeah.
Payne Haas and DeBellin and Hopgood. Like, most people are going to have 2 of Haas, DeBellin, and Horse, and then someone just a little bit below that, like a Tohu or a Hopgood as their 3rd mid. If you've got the 3 elite mids, probably, as in all 3 of the 4, Haas, Yo, Horse, and DeBellin, you're laughing. Yeah, having 2 and then a slightly weaker middle in between them is absolutely fine. I would look to get rid of Fisher Harris. He's sort of done his job and also not done his job. It's probably time to move on.
I'm not sure he can get Cleary, just looking at because he's got McGrady. I'm going to throw something out there, right? He doesn't have to do it, but yeah, the player that's ranked first currently on overall, yeah, he does enter the Discord sometimes. He has thrown out the idea of if you can't get Cleary in any other way, I know it's going to sound like madness, but potentially sell Drinkwater.
Yeah, well, the Cows have a tough
That's
run
what
home.
he's
It
saying.
floated into my mind, and I bashed
Yeah,
away until it
that's right.
actually happens. You can't do it until it happens. Like it, I
Yeah,
thought similar about Manu
yeah,
as
because
well. He's overpriced
yeah,
as a pure center, but I mean,
yeah.
he's doing well. Why would you get rid of him?
Yeah, the thing is, a score of 35 could be around the corner soon for Drinky. He hasn't had one of those in 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, do you buy low, sell high? Like, if it's your only way to get Cleary, I wouldn't be selling Hopgood because, like, wing fullback, I agree with Lukey, who was saying that there should be a lower priority kind of thing.
You can't sell it until
Yeah,
it happens.
well, I don't know if he can get Cleary in then. Because I don't think I'll be sacrificing Hopgood. He might just have to wait for now.
I'd be interested in knowing his team
that
value because he's got 4
yeah,
emergencies on the lower end. So as
yeah,
somebody with that sort of a team, Cozzy is Bateman, Cozzy is Fafita, Grant, Hines, Johnson, Drinkwater, because he has
yeah,
all of those already. I really hate to
yeah,
say, but it looks
yeah,
like you would have to sacrifice depth. You absolutely would in order to get to Cleary. So
yeah. Or should he look at getting a Munster or a Cherry Evans
I
more
would go
likely
that way.
because
I
they're
would go that way
yeah,
instead.
yeah. If your team value is not quite as high, I think that'd be the play. Yeah,
Yeah, if you don't have like a 14.5 plus million dollar team,
yeah,
you're definitely going to miss out on at least 1 or 2 people that you want. Even
yeah,
even if you're over, you're probably going to miss out on one of them. But yeah, in your situation, I think I would consolidate and make a good top 18 rather than a good 16 with Cleary in it. So that's what I'd
yeah.
look towards.
So he's asking about Colaquin or Dan Russell. I think I'd go Colaquin out of the two, but you've got to be prepared that he could be a red dot in a week or two, and then you've got another red dot along with McGrady. I don't think you want 2 red dots.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I'd go 2 trades. He's got Simkin though, so yeah. Yeah, he can probably do that. It's not changing the amount of
I mean,
low options he has in his emergencies.
yeah. Just off the top of my head, Scoop, I'm just suggesting it with Tino out for a month. What about a Simpkin to an Aaron Clark kind of one to have Aaron Clark as an 18th or 19th million?
It will be. It'll be low. It'll work for a month and then it'll be gone back to like the bench and not great scores.
Hey, Cookie. I've used 2 trades this week. What do you think? Cookie? Hello?
I don't know. How many have you got left, Griff?
After using 2, I've got 2.
Spicy.
Griff, we'll do your team at the end, mate. Can we just get through these questions, please?
We'll have a look at who's next. We've got Roscoe's team, actually. He's looking at saying that pods are probably the way to go and Cookies 2 against them. Any players he's missing? Well, let's have a look. There you go. There's the gun mids. Harstabell and Horsburgh. Fafita, Bateman, Grant. That is the ideal, unless you chuck in a Yo there. But I mean, I probably wouldn't with round 27 potential rest. That is the top 6 you want. Hines, SJ, Garrick, Manu, Pongabula, Teddy. Like, until you get down to wing fullback, that's arguably as strong as you can get until you buy Cleary. So, it's great starting side. Munster, DC, Hopgood, Nelson, Hands, Colquhoun, Tavare, Lem. Yeah, he squeezed a bit of value and squeezed the money into his starting 17 rather than emergencies. But with Lem and Hands being solid, I think you've pretty much got it. Roscoe. That's a really nice team to ride into the run home with. So Nelly and Lemon my cash out, so I'd assume 4 trades left after this week. Yeah, I think you've set it up really well. I think that's the way to go. That's really good. Munster and DC.
Yeah,
probably
cheers, mate.
riding with you
I
and Cleary.
I think we touched on it before. Nelson and Lem. It's barring all injuries and suspensions, right? And fantasy this year has been brutal week to week. So you play it week to week, but this week I'm in a good spot. It could change overnight. So, but yeah. Cheers, mate. No, I'm pretty stoked with where I'm at. So
How many trades do you have left,
4
Ross?
after this
I'll
week.
have 4 now, mate.
Yeah,
All right.
so
And just a suggestion, you don't have to do it this week, but would you consider like a Nelson to a Murray, say next week, or like, you know?
Yeah. I'm going to give Nelson a couple of weeks, but yeah, definitely. It's just so handy at the moment because of his now. I did get him purely because he got DPP. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
you're not going to
definitely.
get Cleary at all. You probably don't need to, do you? With SJ Hines, Munster, and DCE.
I don't, and that's the way I'm sort of leaning. But I could get FOMO and in the last couple of weeks jump on, but it might be all too late. I think Scoop's in the same boat with the 4 halves that I've got.
Yeah.
he'll come in if there's an injury for me. Like if a big gun goes down, he's first priority.
I agree.
But like otherwise, I'll just ride with it. All right, great trades though. Great options, I reckon. So we're down to VB's hardest workers.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, Tarpanay to Murray is a waste of a trade. Tarpanay average with Papa is 51.5 and 62.3 without. Tarpanay doesn't have a bye in the run home and it's coming off some really good scores. Murray theoretically is really underpriced and a fantastic option, and the Rabbits will probably need him. I'll probably wait 1 week just to see how it pans out. And if Tarpanay drops, Murray goes well, you can swap him, and I don't think they would have changed price or like got closer in price. So I don't think you're going to lose out on that. So I would wait a week and reassess. I don't think I'd do it this week. Would you agree with that, Cookie?
Yes, I agree. There's no need to do it this week. Hold off a week and hold the trade. Just Scoop, there's one above, a question around Tohu and Murray again that I think we just missed.
Oh, yeah. Right.
From Durr. Around Tohu to Murray. Yeah.
Yeah, he's thinking I could do Harris to Murray, but I'm not 100% sure as Murray's a buy soon. Like Harris, not even sure if he's a sell. Thoughts on this trade? Rest of the team, other potential trade options. Yeah, Harris to Murray just seems too sideways to me. Like it might be like a tiny upgrade for a tiny bit of cash save, but I don't think it's worth it. Scotty's.
I'm just looking at his bench. It's a little bit
versus Dogs, but like I think I'd be happy with Sorensen out to Murray instead of Tohu to Murray.
Yeah, I agree. His bench is a little bit. It's all right, but you just see there he's got Brimson 16th man, Lemuelu, Buller, Sandon Smith, Garlick, and Tafare. So does he look to trade Tafare out potentially?
Well, let's have a look at his centres. He's got Lemuelu on the bench. We can see there. Manu Penasini. He's got Garrick. He does have Garrick down to wing fullback. So who's he got on the bench? He's got Brimson and Buller. So, yeah, definitely trade Tafare. I think you've got plenty of good centres. Don't need to rely on him coming back. Really, I'd cash him out now and look to do that.
Who could he get for Tafare? What options do you?
How much does he have? Not a lot, but not a lot of money, that is. How many trades does he have? He's got 6 once he's got 3, so that means he's got 7 before trades. He could do 2 Tafare plus... Oh, who's the plus, though?
Because he's carrying Garlic as well. Sitting there, so does he really want to...
Yeah, Tavare plus Sorensen to Murray and someone. I'm not sure what price bracket they'd get you to, though. It might be that icky 450k bracket, and you'll have to play around with it, but I would look to probably get those 2 out for something like that. I don't know. What's Sorensen priced at? Is he higher than Murray? Higher than Harris? Is he like just over 700 or is he dropped? Okay.
I'll just have a look.
Yeah, but I would probably.
Sorensen 684.
Okay, so basically identical. So yeah, look, long term, I think.
Yeah, I'm just looking at cash outs for him. I'm just looking at cash outs for Tafare. Like, I mean,
probably go
yeah.
Colquhoun, you could go Skelton if he wants a red dot soon to loop with. Like, there's a couple, but like.
Yeah, but he's got Garlic as well, though. So does he want one that's definitely not going to be there soon, or does he want? I mean, if you could pay up a bit more, but it's not as much of a cash out. One that should hold his spots, that Tamale for the Warriors, I think is 270k. Probably not the worst shout, but you do have to spend an. Yeah.
Yeah, look,
I'm just trying to see if there's any option.
Look, if you're trading out Tavare and Sorensen, you can probably go up instead of to Murray, honestly. So maybe that's the play. Yeah.
Or could Karaz be also an option? Like, I know he's got a hard game this week, but at centre he does average a lot higher.
Him then into the bye a couple of weeks later. Like, it just feels like a nothing pick at this stage of the year when you're wanting guns and cash outs pretty much to maximize points and everything. Yeah, I'd look to do something along those lines. There's a few options you could go there, but yeah, I'd probably be looking at Sorensen and Tavare to move to a few options. I don't know if you can get up to Cleary and a cash out with that. That'd be awesome. But yeah, well, you just have to play around with it. There's a lot of options in that. With that sort of money you can play with. All right, we've got down to Lenti. Side post above, 5 trades and 197k in the bank. Terrible rank, looking to get worse. What trades can I do? I don't like Josh King's face staring at me in the starting mids, really. I think I'd really try and get that out of there. And yeah, Taruva starting wing fullback. Look, I would hold Taruva versus the Dogs this week. You get a hat trick and 75 points or something. But yeah, those two are the very urgent ones, I'd say. Lane's been disappointing, but maybe when Dylan Brown comes back in a couple of weeks, if he is back, that could go well. But yeah, there's a couple things you could probably do, like Josh King out. I'd probably go Josh King to Murray. That would consolidate with your sort of team value. I would spread the value in underpriced guns rather than going up to the elite expensive options like Cleary.
He's got Jacob Little there as well. Yeah. Sitting on the.
You can tell he's an Eels fan too.
Yeah, Lane Hopgood. Yeah, Lane and Hopgood. Not somebody I have seen this year so far. Lane.
Moses, is there a way you can get? Hold on, where's Hines?
Well, maybe he does go for a captaincy option then.
Yeah, I think I'd be just get Cleary, go Moses to Cleary, Lenti, just do it, and I think you might gain some ranks.
Moses to Cleary, Josh
That's
King
what I'd be
to
doing.
Murray if you can, or something like that. That's what I'd go for, and then sit because he's only got 5 trades. Yeah. Make it 3, and then hold those 3 for injury. All right, Rick.
Yeah, and if you really want to risk it, Lenti, put the C on Cleary. You don't have much to lose, mate. So I'm potentially thinking of putting it on him as well.
Easily.
Yeah.
It's not even close. All right, Rick.
Well,
as he is an 18th or 9th and backup hooker, should Hands owners be worried with reports of Simpkin signing immediately and Simpkin drop down the pecking order at Tigers? Don't jump the gun. Just don't do it until it happens. And even then, like, he'll still make a tiny bit of money until he doesn't, and then you sell him slightly earlier than round 27. So don't panic too much on that, I think. All right, we've got down to Griff's set of trades. These set me up for a gun head-to-head side for the round home and enough coin in the bank to pivot if someone gets injured, or hold Tohu and go Billy Smith to Murray next week. So what's he got? Moses to Cleary, to Tola to Aaron Clark, Harris to DeBellin. Ooh, that's pretty hot, but
you don't need to trade Tohu. I already had this conversation with him.
I just to do someone other than Tohu. 175k. That gets it down to like what 511. Who's he got in that price bracket? No, yeah.
If
no,
I
you're
was
right.
him, I'd just be doing Moses to Cleary, and then I'd be holding. That's what I'd be doing, and hold the 3
I
trades.
would have sold C&K, but he hasn't got really backup. So, well, you could put Manu there, but yeah. That's a tough one. I don't know if I might just say, considering it also makes you go down to 1 trade, just do 2, and then hold off for a little bit
I
and
think you
see
should
how it
just do
plays
1,
out.
Scoop. I think you should just do 1.
Does Griff even need another mid?
Just do Moses to Cleary and hold, and thank me later.
Harris, yeah. Well, if he doesn't trade, he'll have Haas. That is something that we might not have considered though, because the problem is Tohu and AFB will be on the Warriors bye, and also C&K, which especially for the mids could be really devastating. Oh, he does have Hopgood and Horse though, so like, yeah. In that case, I don't know if I'd be worried. You're gonna have a playing mids there that's reasonably good. I'd keep Tohu, to be honest. Just do the 1 or the 2, something like that. Any other comments, Roscoe?
Yeah, we know how Griff gets his he gets FOMO of having too many trades in the bank. So 1 or 2 trades is probably best for Griff, but I can see him doing 3.
Yeah, all right. Scotty wants to know, how many minutes is Murray getting this week? I haven't deep dived South's bench, but Cookie, you might know a bit more than me.
Between 60 to 70.
You reckon?
I reckon.
We have a bit more
Back to early season.
I don't reckon
specific.
he's getting more. I don't reckon he's getting more than 15 minutes off. If it's a tight game, you might only get 10 to 12 minutes off. He's going to come back on.
Yeah, you
This is a
reckon
must-win game for us.
you
So
reckon Havili's going to spell
I reckon he's
middle
going to play.
maybe instead of middle?
No, I don't. No, Havili will play middle. I think they'll move Arrow to middle rotation when Host comes on. So they've done that before, and I mean the reason Murray, I think, if Blake Taff stays on the bench, that's better for Murray's minutes, because Blake Taff, I don't think, will come on. Like, personally, just in general, fantasy aside, I'd rather us bring another forward under the bench. But I think being Trell's first game back, they'll want to carry Taff, and I think Murray's going to play 60 to 70 minutes, probably closer to 70, to be honest.
I could definitely see it being an up week.
Yeah,
Right.
I think so, definitely.
All right. We've got... Yeah, Scotty's saying drink water to Cleary, thinking about it, drink his dip soon. Don't do it until it happens, Scotty. Like, that's called ultra FOMO. That's not even normal FOMO.
Can I just jump in though?
Yeah.
Cookie, do you have drink water?
You know I don't.
So it's pretty easy to like say that you should trade into drink water to
Well,
Cleary when you don't have him though.
it wasn't me saying it. This is the number 1 ranked player in fantasy who's talking about it and considering it, who's first. So my ears pricked up when he sort of said it. But he was being serious as well. He wasn't joking.
I only considered...
Yeah, lots to take in.
Yeah. I only considered for like a brief nanosecond something like Manu to Bateman, because points-wise, it makes sense. But position-wise, it makes absolutely zero sense at all. And even though Garrick gets dual and lets me still have a lot of centers if I sold Manu, it's just one of those gut feel things. It's like, no, it's stupid. Just don't do it. So I think
You
this
probably
looks like
wait
that
a week,
bracket.
Scotty. But yeah.
What have we got? Joseph Mayota. Which trade option do I go for? He's got 10 trades after he's made 2. Oh, mate, you could make some serious ranks on the guys in front of you who are looking to just sit and hold. You could play the buys to your advantage and make some huge moves. Okay, so what's he got? he's got, in his first one, Cogger to Colquhoun, Boyd to Haas, Moses to Aaron Clark, Simpkin to Cleary. Not too shabby. Second one with 125k spare instead of like 170. Cogger to Colquhoun, Boyd to Cleary, Tohu Harris to Haas, Simpkin to Sonny Luke. I'd rather get a red dot than Sonny Luke, to be honest. Like, you could get 5 or 10 points out of a loop more weeks than you'd get decent points in the 1 week out of like 7 you'd have to play Sonny Luke. So I'd get some other... Like, he's got 125k spare. You could go up to some other cash down other than Sonny Luke, and you've got so many trades, you can just do whatever you want, really. So I would just get somebody that might be more useful than Sonny Luke.
I like the first option, but it'd be good to know the context of his team. Why is he selling Moses now, right? So, yeah, if you're going to throw questions, it's good to throw your full team up as well. But on the face value, I don't mind the first trade out.
I like that first one, actually. And although it gets 2 basically guys will sit in your emergencies and might weaken his depth, like, it doesn't really matter for him. Like, if somebody gets injured for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or has a bye and a week off, instead of grumbling and holding when you've got 3 trades left, you can just punt them for somebody else.
I like the first one.
Yeah, I think I do too. So we're looking at probably all of us saying first is probably the one we'd lean for. Okay, VB's hardest workers. Hey guys, keen for your thoughts. Have enough to do Tarp, need to clear in 1 trade with 20k remaining. Getting rid of Tarp because he's average. Yeah, the same story with and without Papali'i. Turpin for a player that's 540k. There aren't many options at that price. Thinking of downgrading Penasini with the Eels tough draw and Garrick getting dual. Down to Chris to be 21st man. 749k to spend on a player. Do I get Trell or Murray? Leaning Murray. 95 in the K in the bank to upgrade Pure. Look, I think that's too many trades to plan in a row. I'd probably just go with the first couple and then just see how it works. Let's see, who does he have? He's got in the centres, Garrick, Penasini. Are those his only 3? I'm not sure I'd get rid of Penasini if that's the case, because he scores pretty well next to Moses. Yeah.
Yeah, there is only 3.
I'd hold Penasini and just... How many trades? 6. Turpin definitely out. Already has Munster. Doesn't have SJ. Yeah, I'd go a 749k player. Oh no, that's only if you get rid of Penasini.
Does he need to hold Preston now that he has Hopgood? You know what I mean? Like, is Preston a hold?
Yeah, he's got
I had him as
but he's talking about...
Yeah, I had him as a hold until he moved edges, and then Josh Adokar got injured, but then he scored all right, but now he's got the Panthers, so
yeah,
I think it is a decent week.
Maybe one of those edges who, or maybe the DPP is like a Butcher or a Preston has to go rather than Penasini.
He's talking about Tarpanay going as well. At the top. That was the
I'm not a
first
fan of that.
Until
I'm not a fan of that at all.
Left, I would wait. So he doesn't have SJ. So to compensate, I would go personally Preston and Turpin to Cleary and a cheaper option. Not sure how much that would leave him. Wouldn't be too much. Be enough to get like some sort of solid cash out. So I'd look towards something more like that. So he's got 286k or something like that in the bank. So like, yeah, you could get somebody actually pretty decent.
What cash outs do you think there are, Ross, at under the 400k to 300k? I mean, I mentioned Aaron Clark earlier, but what are you thinking?
It's hard, mate, because there's not that much at the moment.
I'd have to get the list out. But yeah. Just looking. I mean, yeah, Ogden's going to start now, but yeah, he's probably not going to get the minutes. That's the problem. There's not much scoop, is there?
Yeah, it's pretty
Just having
quiet.
a look.
It's kind
There
of
really
like,
isn't. I mean, Avarillo's played okay, but it's too risky.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
Panthers. You could get 12 this week.
Exactly.
What do you make of Offa Hengawi? Oh, he's not getting enough minutes, but he should get a few more now. But it's not a great option.
No, it's round 27 that hurts him as well, so I wouldn't even consider him really. I'd look to get Cleary, and I'd look to get Cleary and then do something. You've got a bit of extra money to move around, so you could potentially get someone even up to maybe even up to a Max King, like that sort of bracket. But like that's up to you. So I would get Cleary since you don't have amazing halves cover. And I would do Preston to Cleary instead of Tarpanay, probably. Okay, nearly done. We've got Scotty saying Tohu to Murray with 150k in the bank or Max King with 2k in the bank. Gents, we'll sell Tohu next week anyway. Well, if you are definitely planning on selling Tohu, yeah, fire away, I'd say. What do you reckon? If you are definitely planning on selling Tohu, do you reckon pull the trigger?
Well, I think so because
I think I'd do it.
I think Scotty's plan is to get Cleary, so 170k is a lot easier than single digits.
Yeah, I think Scotty and your team values not far off mine. Yeah, I think you got to hold Max King now and sort of loop him. I think Tohu to Murray, if you want to build that bank for Cleary, is probably the play. Murray should probably average high 50s from here.
Scotty had the 3 super gun mids as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he does.
Anyway, if he does have 3 elite mids, Tohu is an easier sell than if he doesn't. So, yeah.
Hold on, I'll just quickly bring his team up. I've got it in front of me. I thought I had it in front of me. I've got it here now. Yeah, so he's got Hopgood. Yeah, he's got Harstabell and Anhorse. He's got all the 3 gun mid scoop like myself.
I'm pretty happy with doing that then, especially if it's a Cleary pathway.
Yeah.
All right. Last question of the night. Do I use Teddy, Ponga, or Bullet as my looper? I would 99 times out of 100 say with the current form, don't even think about Ponga, but I mean, it's the Storm. Do you consider looping him, given that he, scored a 17 a month ago?
Yeah, I would, because Buller's playing the Dragons and Teddy's playing the Titans when there's going to be a points fest there. Yeah, I agree. Loop Ponga.
Yeah, that could be a very big brain move this week that a lot of people might not do. Yeah, you got me thinking now. I might consider it as well. We'll see how we go. But yeah, that pretty much wraps us up for tonight. Thanks for listening, guys. It's a tough week. You've got to finalize pretty much what you want for your team in the run home, unless you're Joseph Mayota with like 12 trades. But yeah,
can I just add, Scoop, the average amount of trades in the top 1,000 before trades was 6.9. So, what do you think the number is? I think after this week, you still want to have 4.
I reckon.
Would you kind of agree with that?
I reckon the average will be 4.5 to 5.
Yeah.
And then I'd think you'd want to sit on that. So if you're on 4, not the worst. If you're on 3, that's panic stations, or like it's getting risky.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think that'll do us for tonight then, gents. Good luck this week with your trades. It's probably a semi-locked-in strategy, so think about what would work logically. Maybe don't try and plan every last trade out because things will happen. But yeah, good luck this week, and we'll see you in round 22.